My husband and I met a pastor from Sighisoara, Romania in 1999 in Budapest, Hungary. And through that meeting, because of our involvement with the pro-life ministry here in Huntsville, we became associated with a pro-life ministry in Sighisoara, Romania. So I've probably been 13 or 14 times.
This is my first time.
Great.
My husband and I had traveled the world for fun, but I had never been on a mission trip. And when this war broke out, there was just something about it that just captured my heart. It broke it, just absolutely broke my heart. And I had lost my husband a couple of years ago, and I told friends, I want to go over there and try and help. I want to volunteer. And I said, but I just have such a calling. I feel like God is calling me to try and go help, do whatever. I don't care if it's cleaning the bathroom, sweeping the floors, I'll do anything.
We were talking about postponing or canceling the trip, but I just felt like, you know what, God already knew what was going to happen when this trip was scheduled. And I was just feeling like even if I needed to go by myself, that God would have me to go. And there's a lot of people that did not think that was very wise. I mean, there were still the COVID concerns. We were concerned about whether we'd have to quarantine or not, and if that would logistically even work out for us. But then being that close to a country at war was a concern as well. But you know, we just felt like, you know what, God's in this, He's calling us, and He's going to take care of us. And regardless of what happens, we need to be obedient.
It was like going to help my family.
Everybody says the same thing. They all want to help, and they don't know how to help. So I think people are willing to write a check, you know, if asked, they're willing to help. I just felt a calling to go over, to actually do something in person. And Barbara, you know, after meeting her and seeing everything that she's done and accomplished over there, and meeting all of the people that she's worked with, has just blown me away. So now, I mean, I would love to go over there for months at a time and be here for months at a time, because she's opened the doors to so many different opportunities. And so now my friends, when I came back and I've talked to my church members and close friends, they see a new me. I mean, this has brought me out of a depression that I've had for a couple of years since I lost Jim, and it's just woken me back up. God has woken me back up, but it's because Barbara got me on that team. And I was still volunteering the last couple of years and doing things, but it wasn't like this. This is a whole different volunteer opportunity, and these people need us. Mm-hmm. They need us desperately.
When you're in Romania, there's plenty of fuel, plenty of food in the stores and things like that. And as soon as you cross the border, it's like flipping a switch. You know, there's just really not much there. And so the people are having to, you know, besides the whole trauma of being in a war and having been displaced from your home, you're having to scramble just to meet your basic everyday needs.
I know we hear this all the time, but I think the first thing we need to continue to do daily is pray.
Amen.
Now that's not
Amen.
Trivial, but pray. Because these pastors, these families, these people that are doing ministry day in and day out, and then the refugees that have lost everything, we need to pray for them.
One mom came and she brought her young daughter, and she left behind 3 grown daughters that were married, and they would not leave. And it broke her heart. She had a real tough decision to make, to leave the grown children with their husbands and leave with her daughter. And her daughter was 9, 10 years old. But she did. She left with the young daughter because it was a dangerous area that they were in. But the grown daughters would not leave because the husbands couldn't leave. So they stayed, so she took the young daughter and left. So she said that was, Victoria was translating, because I was trying to understand, you know, what these moms were really going through. And they kept such a great attitude in the center. Mm-hmm. Every day they tried to help a little bit and you know, be involved with their children and keep them happy. So they really tried to keep a very brave attitude.
I wouldn't say I saw a lot of despair. I mean, obviously people were dealing with a lot of difficult life situations, but I think the wonderful thing is that we were working with Christian organizations and churches. And although many of the people that they were ministering to were not Christians, there was a spirit of hope. I would even say some joy that you'd see in some of those folks as they were helping us unload the trucks. They were helping cook some of the foods and take care of things in that area. So I think they, found a place to serve and do what they could at that moment. We talked to some families. We were able to talk to this one whole family. It was her husband, and kids, and their entire house was destroyed, and they didn't have anything else to go back to. And they were fortunate to be able to be put up in this kind of an apartment place. And they were struggling, but they had hope. So
my goal in missions is helping people find their passion and helping them be successful. What can I do to help them be successful with something that God's placed in their hearts? And the ministry in Romania has expanded so much over the years, and we continue to add churches, and it's almost like when somebody says, well, what can I do? Then it's very easy to say, well, what do you want to do? Because we cover every area possible, whether it's, teaching or working with children or working with ladies or, building, construction, whatever, we have it. I mean, it's to me, it's one of the most complete ministries that anybody could ask for. And we have a partner team there so that it doesn't put all the burden on us, because we know that our partners there are going to come alongside us when we get there.
I used hot wheel cars and took a track, and that's basically what I used to help draw the kids and talk to the kids and all that. But we used 300 hot wheel cars while we were there, and I left 100 with 2 different pastors for them to use, and I left a track there for them to use also.
They need prayer, they need encouragement, and they need financial resources, and they need people to go. I used to think, well, is it really that big of a deal that we go over there? And we just, like this trip, I'm gonna say something that they may not agree with me, but there were times when I felt like I was a tourist, because we were helping unload vans and stuff, but we're meeting people and all this, but I finally dawned on me that just us being there is an encouragement to them. The fact that we would come all the way from the United States to go to Ukraine and just go hang out with them and listen to them and pray with them is just a big encouragement.
God can use the person who thinks they can't be used. He uses the people who feel like they're inadequate, feel like they don't have what it takes, because that's when God receives most of the glory.
God has gifted everybody to serve in some way. So if somebody tells me God can't use me or there's nothing I can do, and to me that goes against God's word. Because I think every one of us has a purpose, and we're gifted for that purpose. Sometimes it just takes longer to find out what that purpose is.
My grown children want me to go back now.
Trying to get rid of them.
They have never seen me this happy again and this fulfilled. So they're like, Mom, anytime you want to go, we are totally cool with it.